Hey everybody, GT here from GT's Barbecue. Thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much. I really appreciate the support. Today we're going to do a brisket on our Weber Smokey Mountain. I've done a bunch of briskets before, but I usually use my pellet grill. So this will be my first time using my Weber 22.5-inch cooker. So stay tuned. We'll go inside here in a minute, get the meat prepped up, and then I am going to season this tonight and let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning early I'm going to put this on. It's probably going to be I don't know, it's a 15-pound brisket, so it's going to be somewhere between 8 and 10 hours. So we'll see what we get when we get to it. Stay tuned. Okay, what we have here is a 13.5-pound prime brisket I got at Costco. I was pleasantly surprised. I got this for $3.49 a pound, so it was 47 bucks for this whole thing, which isn't too bad considering the whole COVID. So we're gonna get this thing unwrapped here in a sec. I'm not going to do a crazy trim on it, just a backyard thing. I'm not going to make you watch it all. I have other videos on how to trim a brisket, but we'll get this thing trimmed up and ready, and we're going to be putting this on in the morning. So stay tuned. I'll be right back when we get this thing out of the package. Okay, gone through the trim process. Basically, I took all the fat and silver skin off of this side, took out a lot of this decal, this really hard fat here. Some of that will render down, and that's going to go in between the point and the flat. So let's season this guy up. A little bit of W sauce. Not too much. And today, I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to use some Cosmos Q Texas beef. It's basically like an SPG. Nice even coat on there. Got some other things in it. I know that looks like a lot, but trust me, it is not. And I'm going to follow it up with a layer of Dirty Bird Hot. This is going to give it a whole new level of flavor. It's going to give it a nice color. A little bit of that Texas style heat that you're used to. And you can also see I've kind of rounded this off, rounded the edges so the heat can move around it evenly. Turn it over, and had a pretty good size point on this thing, and kind of butchered a little bit of the flat, but this point is huge. And I'm going to be cooking this, I think, slow and low enough that it's not going to make a difference. Hopefully we'll get a nice bark on there. And the same on this side. Cosmos Texas beef. Pat it in like so, and a little bit of our Dirty Bird Hot. These are rubs that Darian Cosmo uses in competitions, and those pretty much knocks everybody in the head when it comes to brisket, so pretty well knows what he's doing. So there you have it. I'm going to have this, I'm going to let this sit overnight and put it on first thing in the morning. We're going to cook, I think 250, 275, which is honestly a little higher than I normally would. And I'm not even going to look at it for the first 2.5 hours. Hopefully we get a good bark on here, we'll get it wrapped up, and we'll get it tender. So stay tuned, we'll see you in the morning. Okay, let's go over the setup I'm going to use for my brisket today on my Weber Smokey Mountain. I have some Jealous Devil lump charcoal here. I kind of have it around the fire ring, and I left a little divot here. I'm going to just pour some regular briquettes in here, kind of get that going, let it slowly burn out. And for wood, I'm using something different. These are whiskey barrel chunks. My friend Lewis over at Our Shack Barbecue, I'll put a link up above. They're called drunk chunks, whiskey barrel smoke, and he's used these before, and he said it gives a really interesting flavor. So I'm going to try that today as a smoke flavor for my brisket. So this is all set up for tomorrow morning. I'll get up, get this thing going, get the brisket on. So sleep tight. We'll see you in the morning. Okay, our coals are nice and hot. We're going to get this poured right in the middle here. So, get those spread out a little bit. Just like that. Okay, let's get her put together here. Like so. And I am going to leave the water pan in, but I'm not going to put water in it. Okay, smoke rolling good. On the Weber Smokey Mountain. Go ahead, put our brisket on. Like so. Smooch it up a little bit. Shut her down, and I let that roll for probably about 3 or 4 hours before I even take a peek at it. So, see you then. Okay, it's been a couple hours. I just want to take a peek at this brisket. I know it's not ready to wrap yet. I just kind of want to get a look at it. Oh yeah, looking good. Give it a little spritz. So I'm going to let this roll another, at least another hour, maybe 2, and then we'll get her wrapped. So stay tuned. We'll be back and check on it here in a little bit. Okay, Mr. Brisket has been on now for 4 hours. The bark is looking good. It's nice and set. It's nice and juicy. I want to get this guy in, get him wrapped. And we'll get them back on the smoker. We'll see you here in a few minutes. Okay, we got the brisket inside. It is looking amazing, nice and moist still. I'm going to get it wrapped up. Kind of make a little bit of a boat here. I'm going to add just a touch of beef broth. You can see that almost instantly soak down in to the fibers of the meat. It'll also add a little bit of moisture to the floor. Just like so. Okay, we have a nice tight seal. Make sure we don't have any air pockets in here. I'll get this back on the smoker. I am going to cook to a tenderness, not to a temp, but I am going to go ahead and put a temp probe in this just to give me a ballpark. It'll probably be done somewhere around 205, between 202 and 210. So I'll get it back out. We'll look at it in when it hits about 200 degrees and start checking for tenderness. So stay tuned, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, Mr. Brisket has been resting for about 2 hours. He cooked in my Weber Smokey Mountain at about 300 degrees It took 4 hours for it to get to 165. The bark was set, and I wrapped it up, and then it only took a couple more hours. It was just about six and a half hours, and it was done. For a 13-pound brisket, that's pretty good. It seems plenty juicy. It's nice and jiggly. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this. I think for the first cut, I'm just gonna cut it straight in half, right about here. Take a look at what we've got here. Got a decent little smoke ring on there. That looks really good. Let's go ahead and take some slices out of this guy. The grain's running this way. I cut that kind of wacky. So let's get some slices against the grain. I try to make them about as thick as a pencil. Oh, man. So I use the drunk chunks that I got from my friend Lewis over at Our Shack Barbecue, which are some chunks of wood out of a whiskey barrel. Not sure what that's going to do for the flavor. But let's take a look at one of these pieces. So, yeah, wow. Even for a thick piece, that just pulls right apart. Really, really moist. Holy cow. Take a quick bite. You know, when you do brisket right, it's one of the most tender meats there is. And if you do it wrong, it can be one of the toughest meats. This is a win. I think this ended up pretty close to 210 by the time it probed tender for me. About 205, I tried it, and it seemed like it had a little pullback still. So overall, another success. So thanks so much for watching. Everybody stay safe. Please like and subscribe if you're so inclined. It really helps out the channel. And we'll see you next time.